But what do you feel like mentally is stopping you? So obviously, as an artist, you're gonna think nothing's perfect. It genuinely feels like I don't know what I'm doing. I have these products, and sure, they're great. They feel right. But in your mind, it still doesn't feel like the right time. It feels like something's wrong about it. You still want to tweak something.
There was a lot of self-doubt, bro, and like if nobody's gonna talk about it, like I'm gonna say it up front. Like I have dealt with self-doubt 100%, bro. And you know, like you want to present yourself in a way where you're like, yeah, you're confident, you're fire, you know, whatever. Nah, hell no, bro. There's moments where we all fucking doubt ourselves. I'm sure there's moments where you've doubted yourself, and I've doubted myself hundreds of times. So for me, it was definitely a mixture of doubting myself. It was a mixture of falling in and out of love with my own products. And yeah, bro, it's like a lot of us want to expect extraordinary results by just putting in ordinary effort.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today we got a very special guest. He's performed at Ruido Fest. You already performed there, right?
Yeah.
I want to make sure. I don't want to spread false information type shit. He's got a residency over at PVTSTCK, and man, he's just on his way to, you know, create great music and make some releases happen. Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
How are you guys? My name is ESCHICANO. Happy to be here.
ESCHICANO.
ESCHICANO, bro. I was telling him how one time they mispronounced my name on stage, said ESCHICANO. But yeah, guys, I'm ESCHICANO. Happy to be back at the Music Garage after a long time.
Hey, bro, you can't tell them where
I was
we're
thinking
at, bro.
about that. I was like,
You can't tell them where we're at.
Nah.
They don't know where we're at. They know we're in Chicago. They don't know where we're at.
my bad.
But for real. He's about to give out our room number and shit, too.
Right. 210.
Hey, that's a little too close, bro. Hey, chill. First of all, what did you even do when they fucking mispronounced your shit? Like, how are you going to show up to an event and they're going to get your shit wrong?
I mean, at that point, you can't really do nothing but laugh about it. So I kind of I brought it up for sure. I was like, what? Presenting who? You know, and everybody started laughing. Like my friends that were there were laughing. But nah, I mean, you know, just take it with a grain of salt. Make fun out of it.
He showed up backstage, said, hey, wait, hold up. What'd you say?
Please welcome who?
And aside from that, like I said, you got your residency over at PVTSTCK. You've been working over there with them for about 3 years. So go ahead and talk about that relationship and how you guys even got involved with one another.
I used to make music since as early as 2017, but I would put it all out as my real name. And I had worked with this guy named Ryan. Shout out Ryan. I don't really know what happened to him, but he's fire. He was good, and he was like the low key. He was a link because he put me on with PVTSTCK. So he used to record out of there, and then one day I went to a session with Poppy Beats. Shout out Poppy Beats, and he was working with a friend of mine, and I just kind of went in there, and it was funny because I had started off like just chilling in the corner, just kind of watching. I was just happy to be there low key. I had never been like in a big studio like that. And after a while, we exchanged information. I actually think I gave Poppy Beats a ride home and showed him my music. I took the opportunity. I was like, hey, check this song out. And then after that, I don't really remember how it happened, but I met the owner of PVTSTCK. His name is Jason. He's one of the 3 owners. It's Herson, Lewis, and Jason. And I met Jason, and he really liked my music. And after a while, I just kind of started recording there. I actually didn't get like a key to the studio until like about a year ago, low key. But yeah, basically I go there and I record. I've been recording since 2019 there, and then all through the pandemic last year. Now we're going on our almost 3rd, 4th year of recording there. And next year is actually their 10-year anniversary. So there's a lot of cool stuff planned for their 10-year anniversary that I'm excited about.
And they're over there, you know, remodeling that studio and shit. I've actually had conversations with Jason recently. I'm supposed to go over there and, you know, check it out, you know, chill out and shit. But, yeah, I'm familiar with all 3 of those guys. They're super dope. You know, I've been definitely blessed to meet them and just chop it up with them. But, you know, aside from that, how do you feel like your artistry has grown just being in that environment? Obviously, with each new environment, there's different energies that are transferred to you. And the way that you work, the way that you write, the way that you even think, it's impacted by these environments that you're in day in and day out. So how do you feel like as an artist you've grown?
It's been awesome having the space to be able to create. Because if it wasn't for PVTSTCK, bro, I still would have been recording at my home studio at my mama's crib, bro. Like that's what I was doing before Private Stock. And having that space where you see people walk in and out, like right now there's some really really dope music and dope artists working out of Private Stock. So having a space to be able to just create in like a non-judgmental space is really important. I always tell people, I'm like, dude, the most important thing about making a song is feeling like there is zero judgment, like you don't give a fuck about what anybody thinks. And that was my thing, was like in the beginning, like, you know, I would worry a lot about what other people think and stuff. And I was like, there was like a little bit of a pressure to kind of like stand out, be like, all right, you gotta like, if I'm gonna be invited to a session to write for somebody or to help you know, compose a piece or produce, like I was always tripping like, yo, make sure this shit is fire, you know. Now I just walk in and I just have fun, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, if you like it, you like it. If not, cool, we'll work on something else. But having that space is very important, because literally I would tell Jason, I'm like, yo, this is like the Motown of Chicago right now. Like, bro, this is like the studio. And like, as far as Latino artists, any Latino artist that is, I would say, relevant or like on the come up or involved in the industry has stepped foot in Private Stock. That's the way I see it. And so being in an environment like that, it's almost like I feel like I'm in the middle of like a renaissance. Like, you got dope ass producers in one room, you got sick ass artists working and mixing a song in one room while I'm mixing a song in the other room, and we're just planning on dropping all this shit. So it's like, I feel like 2023 is gonna be a big year, and I'm just really happy to be a part of that, because I really ride or die for Private Stock. Like, they were the first people to believe in my music and believe in my artistry and offer me that space and those resources. So it's great. That's definitely how it's helped me just be creative, bro. Because it's like, yo, you have an uncapped resource, you better use it to its max potential, you know. So I would spend like 16 hours in the studio sometimes, or like 5-6 days a week. And there was a period in 2021 where I was working on a project, and I literally slept in the studio. Like, we slept in the studio for like about a week, bro. And low key in Fort Knox, they got this like little section where they got like showers and stuff. So it was just like, we're like camping out in the studio, bro, eating takeout and stuff, and just working on this project. So it was great.
Like I said, I've talked to Jason, and they really do a lot to give back to the community. They do their program with DePaul. They've been to Lane Tech recently. Just, you know, being that resource for the youth, people who have that dream to go ahead and do something bigger with music but don't know where to start. So that's such a dope thing to be able to do. I want you to touch back on that fact that they're this center for a Latino renaissance. What do you think has contributed to that? How did that really all start for them?
Honestly, I feel like a lot of it has been organic, you know. I mean, they definitely have like a whole legacy that they've been working on, bro. I remember like when I was younger, I would see like you know, we all loved like Chance the Rapper and Vic Mensa and all that when they were like at the height in like 2014 through like 2016. I remember I was like, bro, like before I even made Spanish music, I wanted to make like Chicago like hip hop, and I would like make music in English, which I'm glad I stopped because it was not that good. But you know,
I like that English track you got on Apple Music, bro.
Ah, you heard it?
Yeah, I like that shit.
I'll still make English music, but I won't rap no more.
Now you be sounding hella Mexican and shit.
Nah, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. But so yeah, I remember seeing those artists and be like, man, like I want to work with them one day, right? Or I want to like get on their level. Like I remember thinking that, and I remember that seeming like so unobtainable. I remember seeing that as so unobtainable. And like I remember getting my first laptop and being like, I don't know how to use this shit. And now it's like, it's crazy because it's like, it's like second nature. But basically, like they have this long-standing like history, because it's like all those artists that I looked up to recorded that studio, you know, like. And who was behind a lot of those songs? Poppy Beats was behind a lot of those songs. Poppy Beats mixed A La Verga, the last record that I did. He actually did the sound and like all the vocal effects and all that for Ruido Fest too.
With Elisa and Código Verde, right?
Yeah, the song with Código Verde and Elisa, he mixed and mastered. And then at Ruido Fest, he did all my sound production. So like I could sound like the record. Live, he did all that. So it's crazy to me because I'm just like, man, like that's wild. Like 18-year-old, like fresh out of high school me would be like geeked out, you know what I mean? But how did they get to that, like center of that. It's been that, bro. It's just years of working, bro. I think that there's a culture in private stock, you know. It's a very inviting culture. A lot of studios you go to, bro, it does feel like very closed off, very like all right, clock in, clock out, that's it. With private stock, there's like an environment, like a culture and shit. And what's really dope is, like, for me, at least, ever since I've been recording there, I've opened up the doors to bring people that would have never ended up at private stock. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole corridos thing that we were doing, I don't think there was ever a single corrido recorded at private stock until I started recording there, you know? And I brought the homies, and the homies are from Harvey, from Dalton, from Cicero and Berwyn, and they're all coming to the studio, and we're recording there. And I feel like that's the short, well, not even a short, that's the long answer to like how do they get there. It's like I feel like it's just like a domino effect, you know. You bring one dope person, they start bringing their homies, and their homies bring their homies, and their homies bring their homies. And I feel like there's been different incarnations of private stock over the years, but I feel like the one that they're in right now is definitely gonna be like the one, like for sure. There's some really dope artists. You ever heard of Diana?
Yeah.
Ground, her brother, he's a phenomenal producer. He was my keyboard player for Ruido Fest. So he's a great songwriter, producer. DJ Chava's working out of private stock now too.
She's working with Diana, right?
You just had Marcel last weekend. Or a couple weeks ago, he was working out of private stock for a while too. Like when I first started.
With J Bro.
Yeah, with J Bro, all of them.
First Class B.
Yeah, First Class B, bro. Yeah, there's some dope artists.
Touch on this Latino Renaissance. You have that in your bio. I seen it around Instagram a couple times. So touch on that. What exactly is this Latino Renaissance that everybody's talking about, and what made you join it?
That's funny because like I always use the word Renaissance before I even heard Cash Drop kind of like coin the term like Latino Renaissance and like really like promote it. I always love that word because like I've always been like a big history buff, and I love like artistic movements in history, and the Renaissance and the Enlightenment are two periods that I like fucking love. And you know, the Harlem Renaissance was dope too. And it's like, what is the Renaissance? It's renacer, to be born again, like a blooming of something. And that's precisely what is going on in Chicago, bro. I was talking to some homies from LA, and I'm like, man, that's crazy, because I was like, there's a scene, but there isn't a scene in Chicago. It's like weird, you know what I mean? I feel like we're very, very close to something. There's so much talent, so much culture in Chicago. Like we see cities like LA, like Texas, where there's like a lot of Mexican culture, but yo, Chicago has a deep, like particularly Mexican culture, you know. We shot the video on 26th and La Villita and on 18th and all that, so there's like a huge Latino movement of artists, of creatives, of businesses. So the reason why I have that in my bio is because Cash App was doing a thing where they're like, hey, everybody put Latino Renaissance in your bio, and we'll shout you out or something like that. My manager, Scheme Navarro, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's dope. He was a rapper like a couple of years ago. He was doing some really dope shit in Chicago. Now he's more in the business side, and he's been like managing me alongside Jason from Private Stock, and he put me on with Cash Drop. Cash Drop actually like funded the most recent video that we just dropped, Que Rico Le Suena. And so I've just been like going to like all of Cash Drop's like networking events and stuff, and they're all Latino based. They're a business that like their focus is to like empower other local Latino businesses, particularly in Chicago, but all around the world. So they started putting that Latino Renaissance in their bios and stuff, and I put it on there. But yeah, bro, that's legit what's going on right now. I just feel like the most important thing, and that's something that Chicago has struggled with a lot, is like coming together, bro. So I feel like we're all on our own shit a lot of the time, and it's not even on no hater shit. I feel like it's just like we kind of like we're programmed to like look out for ourselves and keep our circle close. But I feel like if we come together as a lot of artists and just like drop the politics and drop the ego shit and things like that and just work, bro, we have so much potential to pop off harder than any fucking city in the US, you know what I mean? And it's interesting because a lot of people, they leave Chicago because it's like, well, what's coming out of Chicago? You know, you got Puerto Rico, you got Mexico, you got LA, you know, if it's corridos or if it's reggaeton. But like, bro, Chicago has historically been an epicenter for the arts. So I feel like we're onto something fire, bro. And if it's not gonna be other people doing it, then I'm gonna fucking put my best fucking foot forward to be one of the heavy hitters in the Latino renaissance in the city of Chicago, bro. I feel like that's really important. So that's what it means to me, at least personally.
I'm glad you mentioned that, honestly. You mentioned the fact that this is what's holding us back, this idea that we can't make it without the help of others. We don't want to help others because we're so focused on ourselves. And a lot of the times that's what people say online. They say, just because you're supporting other people doesn't mean that it's going to impact you. A lot of people don't want to support one another because they're afraid that it's going to impact what they got going on. And that's the whole thing about our episode. It's going to be holding me back, what's holding us back in general, what's holding our community back, what's holding you back as an artist, what's holding you back as a person. I feel like we all have something that's holding us back. Recently, for me, it's been I haven't been able to express what's been going on in my head. I haven't been able to express what's been going on with me. And that's just a block that I have, a mental block. I took that trip to Puerto Rico because I needed that time to reset, reevaluate. Shout out to Vic, because Vic was literally the person that said, I was already thinking about it. I was literally like, hey, I might go to Puerto Rico. He's like, fuck it, do it. We rescheduled the video that we were supposed to shoot on Wednesday just because I said, fuck it, man. I need to get out of here and I need to go figure out what's wrong with me. You've had that residency at Private Stock for 3 years already.
Yeah, bro.
When we were talking, you mentioned to me that, yes, I've had this residency for 3 years, but look at my catalog. My catalog has only about 6 songs put out on Apple Music.
It's less, bro. I think it's 5.
You've had this residency for 3 years already. You have this really short catalog, but I'm sure you have more than enough music to put out. What do you feel like's been holding you back?
Fuck, man. That's the craziest question. Like, it's like when people ask me, like, why have you not put the music up? Why don't you put the music up? Bro, I'll pull up my phone and show you fucking, like, 10 more songs right now that are fucking, like, better than any of the songs that I put out low-key. And I don't know, bro. Honestly, like, the way I explain it to people is, like I'm a legitimate, like, living, breathing artist in the sense that I don't do this shit because I want clout. I don't do this shit because I want a whole bunch of followers and likes. Like, hell yeah, we all want money. I want money. Money can buy you very nice things, you know? But, like, I already made money. I sold cars for 5 years. That was my day job. And I left that. Bro, I was 23 years old making 6 figures, bro. Selling cars, selling Jeeps. I was selling Jeeps. Yeah, you know, I bought nice things. Yeah, I ate really good, you know, dumb shit, right? Where's that money today? I couldn't tell you, you know? But that's when I realized, like, to me, money was very meaningless because I was like, I got a taste of it very young by hustling, bro. Like, I dropped out of college, bro. I started off at a rinky-dink dealership on Western and Irving Park. And from there, I catapulted to the Gold Coast and I started selling Volkswagens and I went to Merino Jeep. Shout out Merino Jeep.
Right there on Irving?
Yeah, bro. I was selling Jeeps, bro.
Worked there.
Who's your boy?
I mean, how long ago were you working there?
Like 2018 to like 2020.
You wouldn't know him.
I wouldn't know him?
No, I don't think so.
Anyway, so I left the dealership to start just recording full time, making music. For a while, I was balancing a day job, bro, 9 to 9. Like, some days I work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And if I get a customer at 8:45 p.m., guess what, motherfucker? If you haven't sold a car all day, you're going to stay here until the customer buys. So I'll be staying there until 12 at night sometimes. And even then on my 9 to 9 days, since Private Stock was not very far from the dealership, I'll go to the studio. I'll make music, bro. I'll take off my work clothes, go make music until 2, 3 in the morning, wake up at 7 in the morning, get dressed, be back at work at 8. And I did that. You know, I was a lot more resilient back then. I was 23 years old, you know, 22 years old. And it was like, you know, running on 5 hours of sleep was no biggie. But I was doing that for the first year. Then the pandemic happened. And I feel like the pandemic was really cool because it, like, in the sense that, like, it rewired everybody's.
This is the only dude that would say the pandemic was really cool.
I got my ass beat by COVID twice. So I feel like I can kind of say it is all right. But no, low-key, what I meant to say was that, like, you know, the pandemic was cool in the sense that it rewired everybody's brains. Like I remember I thought I was hot shit in 2019, bro. I was doing the little festivals. We were all doing the thing and shit. You walk in a Twist to get free drinks and all that bullshit. And then it's like pandemic happens and ain't nobody cool now, bro. It's like back to square one. Like there is no like social hierarchy, no social ladder. It's like we're all, first of all, trying to stay sane. Second of all, trying to stay safe. And third of all, just fucking trying to not go broke, bro. Because the pandemic was fucked up, you know? But it's like a lot of like good things happen, a lot of bad things happen. Because I found myself doing things I would have never done, bro. Like going to the fucking park. Like when was the last time you went to the park, bro? You know what I mean? Like I was at the park chilling, bro. Like drinking wine at the park. You know, riding my bike. The fuck I'm gonna do riding a bike, bro? I was riding my bike. 2020, I stopped caring about like, no, I'm not gonna put shit out in 2020. The last song I put out in 2020 was Down right before the pandemic happened.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was listening to Bad Bunny's album, Yo Hago Lo Que Me Da La Gana. It was like, I dropped like on February 28th, I remember. And like March 1st, we went on the 2-week lockdown. So it was like, it was weird, bro, because I was like, fuck it. Like, and I just went into hermit shell mode and just started making music, bro. In the summer of 2020 alone, I probably recorded like about over 100 songs, like 100 songs. And in 2021, not to mention 2021, bro, I got like at least 20 more corridos, you know, and I've only dropped those two, A La Verga and Que Rico Le Suena. But I always tell people, like, to me, music is like food, bro. Like some days you want to fucking get some sushi, bro, and you want some maki, and you want the whole thing, and then the next day you want a fucking burger, bro, with some grilled onions and shit. You don't want to eat the same shit every day. That's how I see music, bro. I'll be making like a corrido, and I'll be all about it for like 2-3 weeks, puros fucking corridos, you know. And I'm like, man, fuck this shit. I want to make like a rock song, bro. You know, I want to make a reggaeton song. I want to make a cumbia, bro. I love cumbia. And so that was kind of like a blessing and a curse, bro. Being able to like be like a chameleon and like blend in with all these genres perfectly is a blessing and a curse, because it's like you can do all this dope shit, but at the same time it's like there is no definable sound. See, if you listen to my catalog, I got a R&B song, I got a corrido, I got a trap corrido, and like a corrido like authentic, and then I got cumbia, and then I got like this folkloric Jonona cover. The issue for dropping it all is like, it's like I make so much music now, and I like, I love it all so much, bro, and I'm a perfectionist, bro. I have OCD, like legit, like since I was a little kid. Like I'll be like rearranging shit, like this isn't straight and all that, you know. So for me, it's like I'll be obsessed with the song, bro, until it's perfect. Even Que Rico Le Suena, if I hadn't been kind of like pushed to drop it, it would still not be released.
Hey, you got the video funded. Gotta drop
Yeah,
it.
I had to follow through at that point, bro.
But what do you feel like mentally is stopping you? So obviously, as an artist, you're gonna think nothing's perfect. It genuinely feels like I don't know what I'm doing. I have these products, and sure, they're great. They feel right. But in your mind, it still doesn't feel like the right time. It feels like something's wrong about it. You still want to tweak something.
That's not the reason at all, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, bro. The matter of the fact is, a lot of us, we can be fucking lazy, bro. You can spray cologne on shit and say that it's, oh, I'm a perfectionist, I'm XYZ, bro. It's like, sometimes we're just lazy, bro, and we let external factors influence us internally.
So what were those external factors?
I dealt with a lot of like on and off like depression and anxiety, bro. Like, fuck, like is it even worth it? You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of self-doubt, bro, and like if nobody's gonna talk about it, like I'm gonna say it up front. Like I have dealt with self-doubt 100%, bro. And you know, like you want to present yourself in a way where you're like, yeah, you're confident, you're fire, you know, whatever. Nah, hell no, bro. There's moments where we all fucking doubt ourselves. I'm sure there's moments where you've doubted yourself, and I've doubted myself hundreds of times. So for me, it was definitely a mixture of doubting myself. It was a mixture of falling in and out of love with my own products. And yeah, bro, it's like a lot of us want to expect extraordinary results by just putting in ordinary effort. You know what I mean? And nothing extraordinary has ever come by ordinary means. And I feel like I forgot that for a while, because I see the things that I've accomplished when I do go on crackhead mode and like say I'm gonna fucking work. I got on Ruido Fest. You know what I mean? Like, I've been on the radio. I've gotten press write-ups, things like that, when I've put the work in. And I feel like sometimes we taste success a little too early, and then we get like a little comfortable. You know what I mean? And we don't put in like the work that we should. And it takes like a fucking wake-up call, which can segue into like what we're gonna talk about next, right? But it takes like a wake-up call for you to be like, yo, bro, time is fucking limited. Like, you need to work, you know? And yeah, that was one of my issues, was that, like, the depression, the anxiety, bro. I was drinking a lot, partying, you know.
Where was all of this stemming from, though? Because it obviously didn't just start out of nowhere.
I feel like it's accumulation of things, bro. It's accumulation of things. I mean, I did something that I did not want to do for 5 years, bro. I was working at a dealership. I never wanted to sell cars, you know what I mean? And I feel like there was a level of like dissatisfaction, like disillusion with that, because I'm like, fuck, man, I wish I was famous already, or I wish I was doing this. So I feel like I was not very happy with the direction of where my life was going. You know, I wouldn't be able to like pinpoint like a specific issue that stems all my fucking, you know, anxiety and depression shit.
That stems your issues.
Right? Shit. That would have Dr. Phil. I'll go cry on the couch right now. You know what I mean? You know, the older I get, it's like you learn how to work with that shit, and you learn how to manage your depression, your anxiety, your fear of, I don't know, like expectations of what people are going to think of you or they're going to say of you. We just grow and mature, bro. My defense mechanism for a long time was like, I'd be on my like 6ix9ine shit. I'll be talking crazy on Instagram. I'll be trying to like come off as like kind of like I don't know, over the top, you know? In reality, it was a defense mechanism, because like I feel like ever since I was younger and shit, like I've been doubted a lot, you know? And so like on my Kanye shit, like I wanted to like prove people wrong. Like, oh yeah, I bet, you know? All that did, bro, it didn't make me feel any better. All it did was just like fucking alienate people sometimes, you know? And so I feel like a lot of us deal with that. We have like tough skin. We have like alligator skin, where we're like, we might come off as standoffish, especially in Chicago, bro. Everybody thinks everybody's cocky. But in reality, it's like you meet these people and they're not actually, you know? We're a lot of people are cool as fuck, but we kind of have to carry ourselves that way.
I don't know, bro. Honestly, I don't get that anymore. I think that because I do this, I've just learned to, okay, once somebody gets here, then I can be a true judge of character.
Facts, yeah.
Even online, I don't see a lot of people being cocky nowadays. I don't see a lot of people saying, I'm the best at this, I'm the best at that. All I see is literally people giving thanks for everybody who supports them all the time, at least personally for me.
No, that's good, man.
What do you feel like you've learned about yourself through this process of going through those mental struggles? Doing something that you didn't love for all those years, and just not feeling confident in yourself.
The less I gave a fuck about what anybody thinks, the more brilliant my music started sounding. So like, for example, making the jump from Palomita Blanca to Que Rico Le Suena, those are two very, very different sounding songs. If I had let people's opinions sway me about trying to delve into corridos, bro, my family's from the F, bro. They don't even listen to corridos, bro. They listen to El Tri and Maná and like fucking Caifanes and shit, you know? I didn't grow up listening to corridos in my household, bro. The only times I would hear corridos would be when we'd go shopping in like Guanajuato and go like getting the Sarmac and shit, Tony's and stuff. That's when I would hear corridos, but I didn't grow up listening to corridos. And so like when I would listen to corridos at home, my parents would be like, ¿Y tú, güey, de dónde te gusta esa música? Since when do you like this shit? I'm like, I like it. If I would have let anybody's opinions like guide me, I would have never gotten into corridos. So I feel like what I've learned has been to really just do this, bro. What is real will always prevail. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna make a whole bunch of bullshit because you want the DJs to play it, or you want like it to go viral on TikTok and shit, and it's not real or organic, sure, you might get the plays, it might be fire, but it's not gonna connect with anybody, bro. And it'll be fire for like 2 weeks and shit. You'll get your couple 100,000 streams, and then it's gonna be on to the next thing. So for me, it's been having a concise vision. What is what you're why are you doing this, and what is what you're trying to accomplish, you know?
I'm gonna pull up this lyric right now just for you, but while I do that, go ahead, finish your thought.
That's one of the things of the pandemic, bro, that rewired me. Was at first I was all about like, bro, you know, you get a little taste of success, you get a little taste of like approval from people and stuff like that. You start feeling yourself, you start getting lost in the sauce and shit. When all that reset, I realized what matters, bro. You start seeing who your real friends are. You start seeing who's checking up on you. You start seeing who are the homies, who really cares about you. You start appreciating your family, bro. At the end of the day, and it's not always like this, because sometimes people don't have the best families, but at least I've been fortunate enough to know that family is all I've got, bro. At the end of the day, bro, you need anything, bro. You need to get bailed out. You got family, bro. You need someone to go on the side of the road and fucking jumpstart your car, bro. Family.
He's sounding like Dominic Toretto out here.
Yeah. For real, right? But that's how I see it, bro. Is that for me, that's what has mattered the most. And so when I feel like insecure, I feel down about myself, bro, I remind myself, motherfucker, your parents were immigrants for 25 years here, bro, working hard as fuck to give you everything for you to be insecure. And I know sometimes people are like, they can call that toxic positivity or whatever, but like for me, it's just more so like a wake up call, bro. It's like, depressed about what, bro? Like you didn't, you know, like you're alive, bro. That's the first thing. You're alive, bro. You live in Chicago, bro. Chicago's fucking crazy, bro. The fact that you're alive, that you're healthy, you have your 4 grandparents, you have your 2 parents, bro. I think about those things when I feel down. I think about that, bro. I think about me being sick with COVID, bro, and fucking not knowing if I was gonna go to the fucking ER next and get a tube down my throat, bro. I think about that. I'm like, depressed about what, bro? Be excited that you're alive, that you're here. That's how I talk to myself, and that's what keeps me motivated. That's what keeps me going, is I think about my father, bro. I look at my mom, I look at my dad, bro, and I'm like, you guys did not work this fucking hard for me to not fucking make that all worth it.
Sometimes it's hard, though. It's hard to see what everybody else has done. It's hard to see anything except the problems that you have, especially when you're drowning so much.
Absolutely.
For me, especially recently, I ran into this wall of what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I feel like I'm off. I feel like there's something that I'm not expressing and I'm just holding on to it, but I can't say it because I don't know how to. And I just realized that what was holding me back was not being able to express those emotions like I have for, what are we on the fucking 80th episode? For 80 episodes, I've expressed exactly how I felt, when I felt it, whenever I wanted, however I wanted. And I didn't give a fuck who was listening. I didn't give a fuck who had what to say about my shit.
It's vulnerable, right? Because then you put that shit on the internet, you're like, oh shit.
I think that as it's continued to grow, I've focused on getting the guest to talk. I focused on getting the guest's point of view out there and letting people know who this guest is. And that's great. But that wasn't the reason I created this shit. The reason I created it was because I felt fucking down. I felt like I was going through that shit. And being able to bring somebody on who could express that shit with me was the goal. So I lost that. I lost the fact that I didn't know what I was writing about anymore. I'm writing so that I can show people who this person is. But at the end of the day, is the topic getting covered? Is what we need to talk about really getting covered? And I found the song Beautiful by Eminem because it really just reminded me about the fact that I took a vacation and I realized it wasn't that I didn't know how to write anymore, because I genuinely felt like I didn't know what I was doing anymore. I didn't feel like the way that I was expressing myself worked, and I felt like everything I'm doing now is wrong, just like I was expressing to you. Sometimes as an artist, we just feel like things are wrong, but they're not. We just got to reevaluate what we're doing. The lyrics I took was, I don't know how or why or when, and I ended up in the position I'm in. I'm starting to feel distant again, so I decided to just pick this pen up and try to make an attempt to vent, but I just can't admit or come to grips with the fact that I may be done with rap. I need a new outlet. I definitely have started to feel like, man, my time is done. I forgot how to write. I can't do this shit anymore. I'm not good at this shit anymore. But that wasn't the issue. The issue was I'm having these thoughts, I'm having these feelings of I'm not good at this shit anymore. I'm bad at this. And I'm not expressing this to anybody because I'm afraid I say this shit out loud, then it becomes true. Then it becomes I really can't do this shit anymore, and I'm just going to stop doing it because I'm so insecure about what I'm doing. These people who watch my shit weekly are going to start thinking like, man, this guy doesn't even think his shit's good. He doesn't think his shit's good, so then why should I think his shit's good? But in the reality is people watch this shit for the raw emotions. So what the fuck was I doing trying to mask an emotion that I'm fucking going through?
When you start feeling a little bit of a loss of direction, and I feel like that's the most important thing, bro. When a person loses their sense of meaning or sense of direction, that is instantly the moment when depression and anxiety and bro, even like when I've felt my lowest, bro, and I've dealt with some very dark thoughts and shit, that is because of the lack and the lost sense of direction, the lack of direction. And so like if you feel like for example, you said you started this podcast, and I went all the way to like your oldest like videos and stuff, and I was like watching it. It was all dark, the room was dark and shit, and it was just you and a homie just talking and stuff. Him. There you go. You know, if you lose like that integral like kind of like where it started and shit, and now it becomes more about like, oh, let's talk about artists or whatever it might be, right? See, I didn't even know, like, I mean, the name says it all, right? Sad Boy Radio, right? But I to me, I just loved the coverage you were giving local artists. I mean, that's what drew my attention initially. But then I started listening to some of your earlier stuff, and I was like, okay, this is dope. Like, you know, it's like almost like an outlet. It's kind of like a space to speak about. And I've always been about that, bro. Like, there was a period where I was a lot more vulnerable on my social media as well, where I would openly speak about depressions, openly speak about anxiety, openly speak about the moments where I've even felt like, you know, like suicidal, bro. And like that shit's deep, you know. But like there's a lot of people that will relate more than you think. And when you lose that kind of feeling of like worry about like what anybody thinks, bro, that's when people fuck with you the most, bro, because they're like, yo, this is a real person. This is not just gimmicks. This is not just like entertainment, but it's like a real person. Right now I put out my exciting music, my fun, wild music, but bro, a lot of my music is very, very deep. A lot of my music is very, very much touching about those things, and that's the music I'm most excited to put out, bro. You know, I put this. It's like a game of chess, bro. You make your moves at first or whatever, but like the real hardy shit is coming up like next year. But what I was gonna say, bro, is that when you feel down and stuff, and you say that like when you speak about certain things, you feel like then they become true. That's true, and it's not true. It's true in the sense that you might believe it, right? But I always talk about manifestation. Manifestation is real as fuck. If I rewind to like where I was a couple years ago until where I am now, I have most of everything that I've wanted, bro. You know, so that's how I see things. So when you think to yourself like, fuck, if I vocalize my darker thoughts or my insecurities and stuff, they become real. Yes and no. You know, it's important to let it out. It's important to talk to some people that like fucking want to listen, or that you feel like can actually like hear you out.
And for me, it wasn't the fact that I felt I was manifesting negative things. I felt that once I said it, that there was no way of going back. There was no way for me to really focus back in. These are battles that I'm going through myself, and I'm trying to figure out, how do I get back to what I was originally doing? How do I find a way to incorporate what I was doing but continue to do what I'm doing now? Because a lot of people love the product now. A lot of people see the product and they say, damn, that shit's dope as fuck. I'm happy with what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. But there's also that sense of, man, I lost my direction, and I've had weeks where I sit here with Vic. I've had weeks where I sit here with the guest, and I'm like, yeah, that shit was cool. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate the conversation. And it was a dope conversation, but it didn't feel like how I felt when I did this shit a year ago.
You didn't dig into what you wanted to dig into.
When I left for Puerto Rico, and I'm emphasizing this trip so much because I left for that purpose. I left to figure out, what am I going to write about? Can I even write an outline still? What is blocking me? You're blocking, just like I said, what is blocking you? Why did you not use your time at Private Stock to the best of your ability? What's blocking us from being the best podcast out there? What's blocking me from being the best person I can be?
You want to know the sobering truth, bro? For me, at least, wasn't working hard enough, bro. Wasn't working hard enough. I'm like, I think to myself, I'm like, I did the math, bro. I'm like 16 hours times 5 days a week times 4 weeks in a month times 12 months times 3 years. Do the math at $65, $75 an hour, bro. I'm like, how much money would other people have to pay to have the resources that you've had right now, bro?
A lot. 21 Savage.
And it's like, use that shit. So I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know. I can't speak for you personally when you say, like, what's stopping, like, you know, this being the biggest podcast. If anything, I think you're doing a fucking phenomenal job.
That's what people see. Thank you. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for your kind words. But that's what people see. I haven't posted in a fucking week. And that shit feels good. I'm not going to lie. It feels good to not have to worry about, let me post at this time. Let me post what I think is going to blow up. And when it doesn't blow up, damn, I feel shitty. Yeah. My last reel blew up. That shit didn't feel good. It was all fucking bots. Why am I gonna be happy about bots blowing my shit up?
I don't even value that shit anymore, bro. Like likes and shit, bro. I go on TikTok and I see a fucking picture of a cat, bro, eating a fucking cracker, and it's fucking 40,000 likes and views.
I don't value it, but when it's fake, that shit doesn't feel good.
Nah, it feels even worse, right?
Tell me 1,000 real people watching your shit and actually watching that shit doesn't feel better than fucking 100,000 bots watching your shit.
Like, I would rather have one meaningful connection and interaction with one person, bro, than to be greeted by a whole bunch of people. ESCHICANO, what's up, bro? ESCHICANO, what's up, bro? And that's it. Like, what value have I had to your life? You know what I mean? And I always tell people, if I'm not of value to your life, if I'm not enriching you or building you up in any way, then I am completely meaningless to your life. So I want every person that I interact with, that I have a conversation with, to be able to say, like, yo, if God forbid the next day comes and something happens to me and I pass away, bro, I want everybody in there to be like, yo, my life was impacted by this person. Like, my life was impacted positively. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have done this. If it wasn't for him, I would still be here. If it wasn't for whatever. Or even if it's as simple as, yo, he listened to me, he heard me out when I really needed it. That's more important, bro. And those are some of the things that I have thought about. Like, when you ask me, like, you know, what I've realized over the years. So what's stopping us, bro? What's stopping us is fear of our own success. That's the first thing. Fear of our own success, bro. Because think about it. You blow up, bro. How many eyes are going to be on you, bro? You know? Motherfuckers will just be waiting for you to slip up. Because motherfuckers be haters, bro. Like, people love that shit. So it's like, maybe sometimes we're afraid of your own success. Second of all, maybe we're afraid of putting in the work, you know? Because you know, like, let's use an example, bro. Editing the footage of this, for example, color grading and shit. I don't know about you, but me, when I'm mixing a song, like, it's different than when I'm writing the song. When I'm writing the song and I'm recording the instruments and I'm writing and all that, I'm all about it. I'm like, fuck yeah, this is fire. Okay, but now you gotta mix it and you gotta master it. You gotta compress it. Now you gotta EQ it. That's when I hate it, bro. I will walk away from it, come back in an hour, like, all right, work for like 15 minutes, check my phone, and then go do this and go do bullshit. We want to feel good. It's our society, bro, has become all about feelings. Oh, I feel good. I feel sad, and now you think your life sucks because you had one bad day. And it's like somebody said to me, Father Oscar said to me, he was like, it's like bad moments but never a bad day, or something like that. I feel like sometimes we go through some shit and we feel bad in the moment, and then we think our whole life sucks. Or we feel fucking great in the moment, and then we feel like, yeah, we're on top of the world, and then we have the sobering realization that we're not. And then it's like a up and down cycle, bro. Especially with social media, bro. We're wired for instant gratification. We're wired for validation. We're wired for those endorphins and that dopamine and shit. So it's like, we let go of that, bro. And kind of like, that's why I like that you traveled, bro. And I mentioned that in the messages. When I feel overwhelmed, bro, I just drop my shit and leave, bro. I leave for 2-3 weeks, 4 weeks, sometimes a month, bro. I went to Mexico. I went to Tijuana. I went to San Diego. I went to Miami. I went to Guanajuato. That shit rewired me, bro. It just feels good to get out of your four walls.
What's been the biggest change you've seen in yourself? So, you know, that can go all the way back to when you first started at Private Stock, or even, you know, your recent battle with COVID. Your ass was dying for about a month, 2 weeks. So just really the biggest change you've seen in yourself and how you've grown and your mentality has changed. You really focused heavily on that. I'm in grind mode now, but everybody's in fucking grind mode, man. When you told me that shit, you know, I wanted you to go deeper. You know how many times I've had somebody text me and say, I'm just focused on making music. I'm just focused on getting better.
What's changed the most, bro, is drop your fucking bad habits.
What's changed, bro? You know, you said you dropped your bad habit. What bad habit? Why drop your bad habits? What has dropping this specific bad habit done for you?
It was laziness, and not laziness in the sense that you're fucking sitting on the couch scratching your ass. It's more so like laziness in a mental state. You know what I mean? Like mental laziness is the worst, like procrastination and things like that. So what's changed, bro, is that I got tired, bro. I got tired of not being where I wanted to be, bro. I hit rock bottom a couple of times where I had no money, bro. You know what I mean? Where when your health starts failing you and you're fucking sick, that's like rock bottom. So for me, I was just like, okay, great. Had you been living? Because when you're in the face of like death and you realize to yourself like, damn, I could get really sick, or whether it's like a close call, bro, and you get in an accident or something, you ask yourself, what the fuck did you accomplish? What have you done, you know? And I feel like sometimes those questions can be hard on us, but at the same time, they're very important to ask ourselves. It's like, what have you done? And so when I kind of like thought about that and I saw it like that, bro, I'm like, okay, so not much. What are you going to do now moving forward? So what's changed? I mean, I wish I had like a deeper answer. Like, man, you know, I was staring at the ceiling one day and I had like a realization and I felt God talk to me and boo, boo, boo. It's just much simpler than that, bro. I just realized, bro, once you can't do something, bro, like for example, I've been wanting to hit the gym and like fucking get in shape and all that shit. I couldn't even fucking breathe, dog, you know? And so once you realize you can't even do that, bro, like I stepped out to go get something from like Walgreens, bro, and I felt dizzy, bro. I felt lightheaded. Once you realize you cannot do things anymore, you're like, fuck, man, so much time wasted. I wish I would have done things sooner or earlier. So, I mean, for me, that's really what it was, bro. This is the second time that I've had that realization, because I had that realization last year when I got COVID and it hit me just as bad, bro. To me, I've never had like a crazy close call, bro, like with death or nothing like that. I wish I had a crazy story, like, man, you know, I dodged 16 bullets.
Hey, this dude's about to walk out. I'm not even gonna wish that on you,
bro.
But, hey,
we're talking about manifesting, bro.
chill,
Relax.
bro. Chill.
But knock on wood, bro. Where's the wood? Right here. That was like the closest wake up call to me to like, bro, like legit. There was a day where I felt like, bro, is this like when I'm supposed to call like an ambulance? Like, I don't know. Like, I legit didn't know. I'm like, am I tripping? Or like, am I really fucking sick? I'm glad I didn't, because I'm doing a lot better. But to me, that's like, bro, my mentality was, as soon as I get better, bro, I have so much shit to do. And I had COVID while we were editing the video, bro, for Caricoles. Now we're doing it through Zoom, bro. And I'm sitting there editing the video through Zoom and telling them, okay, move this here, move that there. But that was like what's changed for me, bro, is that I came to the realization that I wasted a lot of time, bro, just, you know, because to me it was always about feeling good, enjoying the moment, you know, because a lot of people would be working because, oh, I'm working really hard right now because when I'm 30, I'm going to buy a house and I'm going to do this and I'm going to travel and I want to have kids and boo, boo, boo. And for me, I'm like, all right, well, I'm enjoying my life right now. But then you realize that you enjoy your life so much in the moment that you have not built a foundation for anything of longevity. And so for me, I was just like, you know, I feel like our experiences build that, you know, in and of itself. Our experiences and what we've gone through have built that. But at the same time, it's like there comes a point where you kind of have to have a clear, concise vision. Okay, what do you want to accomplish? What does it take to get there? And I like to start with the top. All right, I want to be famous, right? I want to live off of music. Okay, great. What is it going to take from there? Well, you have to have some successful rollouts. Okay, what's going to take from there? Well, you need to put music out. And then from there, you need to record at a studio. Okay, what do you need from that? Well, you need money. Okay, and you start trickling down, you know? And that's kind of how I've been seeing things moving forward, is like, all right, what's my goal and how do I need to get there? So what changed for me was that, bro, is that I don't want to waste a single fucking more day, bro, knowing your potential, knowing like, bro, you're onto something fire, bro. You've gotten some of the coolest fucking people in Chicago to come in a room and talk to you for an hour, bro. That's fire, bro. You know, some of those people, you see them out in the club, you know, they got their whole people, they're doing their thing, bro. And you got them sitting here opening up to you. That's crazy, bro. That takes a lot. I don't know if you party a lot and like you met these people organically or if it was all through the internet or what, bro. But like you're onto something fire. So it's like there's nothing stopping you from blowing this shit up, bro. It's just work harder. And sometimes, bro, we do have to fucking like just fucking take it, put our fucking chin down, bro, and just work and put our emotions to the side. Now, I like to say it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay there. That's what I tell people. So yes, process your feelings, because if you're just a machine, bro, you're gonna crash. That's how I was for a while. I refused to feel anything. And then what happened? I was fucking doing drugs and fucking drinking all the fucking time. And then I realized one day you have a fucking problem.
It's really more so I don't want to not feel anything. If I'm to the point where I'm not feeling something, this shit's not sad boy radio anymore. It's boy radio.
Boy radio, my boy.
It's boy radio. But once I get to the point of I don't feel anything, there's a real problem.
For sure.
That point comes when you're not expressing what's going on in your life. You're not expressing what's impacting you mentally. So that's what I want to do from now on. I want to be at the point where I don't give a fuck what I say again, because if somebody gets offended, fuck it. They're offended because that shit related to them. And if that shit doesn't relate to them, if it doesn't pertain to them, then oh well, like, don't be fucking offended by it. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I was nervous coming into here because I'm like, all right, watch what you say, bro. Don't say nothing crazy. Boo. This shit's going to be on the internet. But the more I talk, I get comfortable. And it's like, bro, like, you know, you just loosen up and you talk about what's real and shit. And it's like, bro, I'll tell you, like this morning, what was I tripping about today, for example? Bro, I was tripping about money, bro. I'm like, fuck, bro. You go from making fucking 6 figures selling cars, bro, to like tripping about the IRS taking their $99 payment from your back taxes and shit. You're worrying about that. You're worried about, fuck, bro, it's almost the first. So I worried about money. I was nervous because I tried singing and my voice was kind of hoarse and raspy. And like, I want to record already, bro. And my friends and the people close to me are like, you need to stop straining your voice. But I'm like, fuck, but I want to sing already, bro. I want to make music. So I was worried this morning. I'm like, damn, what if my voice is going to sound different moving forward? Like, what if I'm never going to sing the same again? What if, like, you know, XYZ? What if I don't get better? You know, because I had this on and off cough and things like that. Those are, like, the real things that I think about in the morning, you know. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, fuck, bro, like my car, something's wrong with the suspension and shit. Like, you know, these are the real ass shits, you know. Yeah, I'm promoting Que Rico Le Suena on the internet, bro, you know, whatever. But behind the scenes, I'm worried about my car. I'm worried about my finances. I'm worried about my health.
That's the thing that people don't fucking see. You see all these DJs, you see all these artists, you see all these Chicago creatives promoting their shit, making it look like fucking shit sweet. Everybody is going through some shit. So don't ever think that you're the only one going through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like we don't want to talk about it almost because I feel like, I don't know if you feel this way, but if you feel like you talk about it, I feel like you kind of discredit yourself a little bit. Like, damn, you just lost your coolest because now people know you're just like them and shit. Like, I don't give a fuck, bro. You know, like one of my accounts is overdrawn. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, and it's like, it's not going to be, you know, like a hustler always finds a way, you know. Over the summer, bro, I was doing movings, bro. I have a box truck. And so I just put it on Facebook, like mudanzas, baratas, you know, and I was doing movings, bro.
He was working like a real Mexican.
A huevo, as I should, you know. And I was doing the movings and shit. You know, the first moving I did, bro, I only charged $150, and from that $150, I had to pay my boy $60 plus $20 in gas, bro. I'd made nothing, bro, and it was a fucked up moving. It was like the third floor to a third floor, and like boxes and bags.
They said I definitely finessed his ass.
Right. By the end of the summer, bro, I was charging $600 a move minimum. You know, but that's the real shit, bro. And even that I would post on Instagram. I did not fear what people were going to think about me, bro. I feel like the more relatable and the more real I am, the more people fuck with you. And that's the truth of the matter, bro. And it's like, my dad does hardwood flooring, bro. He's done it for years, bro. But a fun fact is that, like, and this is what this is why this shit, and this is important, this is why this shit flows through my veins, flows through my blood, is that my dad came here with nothing, right? And him and his brother one day for my second birthday dressed up as clowns, bro. And they called themselves Cascarón y Cascarita. And I grew up going to the church a lot. And so there was a whole bunch of young families in the church. And like this was like 98. I was 2 years old. And my dad dressed up as a clown. And they were so funny, naturally so funny, that everybody in that church was like, hey, can you do my kid's birthday? It's next week. Oh, my kid's birthday is next month. Boo, boo, boo. Next thing you know, they had a full-fledged, thriving business as clowns, my dad and my uncle, bro, to the point where they were on Despierta America, they were on Telemundo, Univision, Barnum and Bailey, they were on La Que Buena, like doing interviews,
They're about
bro.
to get their own fucking show.
They offered them a show,
Are
and my
you for
parents,
real?
yeah, but they said, all right, we're gonna relocate you, not your family, you two. You guys are gonna have to be here at least 3/4 of the year, and then figure it out. We're gonna be paid well, whatever, boo boo. My dad and my uncle walked away from that because they said, no, we're gonna raise our kids. I'm gonna be with my family. I look at him, I'm like, damn, bro, you should have taken it. We would have been okay. My mama got it, bro. We would have been fucking rich by now. But that, bro, that showed me, dog, is that my parents came here with nothing, bro, nothing but the clothes on their back, and we're living in a 1-bedroom in Wicker Park when it was hood, bro. Wicker Park used to be hood in the 90s, like hood. And yet my father made it. Y sin papeles, made it in front of people, executives at Univision that are offering them a fucking contract, bro. That shows me, motherfucker, you can do anything.
I don't mean to cut you off, and I don't want to say, that shit's dope as fuck. But I definitely want to close out with this story. So I was watching the recent Bryson Tiller episode, but I was watching this Bryson Tiller interview with Big Boy, and he talks about his grandma and how his grandma passed away. And he would promise her all these things. He would say, Granny, when I do this, when this happens, when that happens. And it was too late. He lost her, and he reflected on the fact that I kept waiting. I kept saying, when this happens, when this happens, when this happens. And when I lost her, I realized I just got to go do this shit. I got to do it and have no regrets. Because he was so hesitant on making shit happen because he was in his head. He was, he had depression. He had all these things going on. So I want to close out with that because I want everybody to know that these high-level celebrities, you see them disappear, it's because they're going through some real shit. And when that real shit happens to them, just like you, when you lose a grandparent, when you lose somebody who's close to you, they have that wake-up call too. And I mean, I just want to, go back to this, right? What's holding you back? Don't let it hold you back, because don't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow's not granted.
The right moment is now. The right moment is now. When's the right moment? When you're 30, and then now you're 30, you're too old. That's how you see it, right? Because you spent all your 20s trying to figure it out. Fuck that, bro. Your right moment is now. And so I think that we're not perfect. We don't have it all figured out. We're hard on ourselves, but I feel like at the end of the day, bro, we're on the right path. I would say you're on the right path. I would say I'm on the right path, where we're slowly figuring it out, and it's better to figure it out sooner than later, or like sooner than never. So while I wish I could be like, yeah, I have it all figured out, this is the formula, it's like, nah, like we're just taking that first step right now, bro. And I'm sure this isn't the first thing you've done. I'm sure this isn't, your first project or the first ambition that you've had, the same way that this is not the first single I've dropped, the not first project that I've dropped, but being able to like get up and reinvent yourself, bro. I like Thomas Edison, bro. He's a shitty guy in general, right? But look, the analogy with the light bulb, right, is he did it over 1,000 times until he got it right. He was like, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I just found 999 ways it didn't work, or I found 999 other ways to do it. That's how we gotta see shit, bro. Is just take those punches, get the fuck back up, and just keep going, bro. We're always gonna fucking have issues, and we're always gonna deal with things. The day that you don't deal with shit anymore, bro, you should be worried, bro, because you're probably dead. You know what I mean? Like that's the day you don't deal with problems anymore.
Yeah, I mean, we're all where we're supposed to be, bro. And I just want to leave off on that, honestly.
Hell yeah, bro.
I appreciate it, bro. It was a dope conversation.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
So make sure you go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. That's it for today. Sad Boys for real. Peace out.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
Broken pieces, who's to blame?